Marston's Domain.
Hey everyone, Marson here, and today I want to talk about a game that I'm hyped for, and it's one that I didn't think I'd be hyped for, and I wanted to make this video and hopefully get other people hyped for it too, and that is Hot Wheels Unleashed. So, I was just on Twitter one day, and I saw something about Hot Wheels Unleashed. I think it said coming to the Switch or something. I just saw something for it. So I was like, I'll go and look up the trailer and see how it is. So, I watched the trailer, and I was blown away. I thought the game looked really, really good, but it was just a trailer. So I was like, all right, I'll wait till gameplay. Gameplay comes out, and sure enough, it looks amazing. So there's going to be a lot of sections to this video, so if you find one isn't something you want to watch, just skip to the other section, but we're going to go into pretty great detail. So let's talk about the gameplay first. So it's an arcade type of racer where you can accelerate and brake, you have a boost meter, and the way you gain boost is by drifting. Now, it probably doesn't sound like anything too crazy just for me talking about that, but what's interesting is what you can do with the boosts, and where I think this game actually could get pretty competitive. And I feel like this game could offer something that Mario Kart kind of can't. And if you're an F-Zero fan, I think this is where the game would be for you. Before we get into the cool thing about boosts, let me just talk about that there's two different types, which to me it seems like it depends on the vehicle you use. Where some of them, you can use the boost as long as you want, as long as you have boost meter. And then there's some vehicles where it's squared off, and it seems to use a chunk no matter when you use it. But where this gets very interesting, though, is that you can use the boosts. It is really hard to not say, use the boost to get through. But you can use the boosts to actually skip sections of the track. And when I saw that, I couldn't believe it. I think that mechanic is going to make the game a lot of fun, very competitive, and pretty chaotic, because I can already picture two cars trying to do the same type of shortcut using a boost, but depending on where someone is, they're just going to get knocked off the course. And you also have to be careful too, because if you don't have enough speed on loops, which it could also be just when you're upside down as well, but I think some of those sections when you're upside down, you're on a magnet track, so I don't think it matters. But if you don't have enough speed, sometimes you can just fall off the course. So you'll have to be careful when you're using these boosts to make sure that you use it to where you'll have enough speed to go through a loop. And something very interesting about the gameplay, which I think some people will find negative, but I think it's a plus, is that as far as I know, there are no items. I honestly think this is a good thing, because I like Mario Kart for what it is, but that's just it. It's for what it is. With Mario Kart, I remember having some sort of 3-race rule, where if I did really bad 3 races in a row, it just wasn't my day to play Mario Kart. But some days you can go on there and you're having a blast, and that primarily has to do with items. Sometimes the RNG is just terrible for you and you just get demolished and it's just not fun. Other times you're getting the right items, you're in the right spot at the right time, and it's a blast. So when you're in the mood for something a little bit more competitive to where it's not as much randomness, I think this is where the game can fill that void. And I think it complements Mario Kart, because if you don't feel like playing a game like Mario Kart, you can play this instead. Now let's talk about the game modes. So there's a career mode, which actually has boss battles. So that should be pretty interesting. You're also able to unlock things through career mode, which we'll get into the unlockables later. There's time attack, which assuming that there's online leaderboards, I think it could get very, very competitive with those time trials. There's quick race, and then there's online play with up to 12 players. And the game does support split screen, but I'm not sure if you can do the split screen and then go online. I'm not sure about that, but it does have split screen. And then I think they talked about this as another mode, but there's some sort of home base that you get that you can customize, but we'll get more into that when we talk about the tracks. Because first, I want to talk about the cars. So as far as I know, all of these cars are based off of actual Hot Wheels, but I'm going to talk about them as if they're just being made for this game. There's supposed to be 60 vehicles in the game, with more coming later. I'm not sure if all of them will be free, but we'll get into the DLC later. But the base game has at least 60, and they've showed off 14 of them so far. So some of them I'll have more to say, some of them less, but I want to talk about these. So first up, we have Bump Around, which, this is embarrassing, but I somehow thought this was a submarine at first, even though I should have known by the name. It's definitely supposed to be some sort of bumper car. But hey, you got to be able to laugh at your mistakes, right? Then we have the Mountain Mauler, which looks like just some sort of off-road type of vehicle. We have the Sandivore, which looks super, super cool. And it kind of looks like a more sleek Mountain Mauler. Then we have the Boom Car, which, again, A little embarrassing. I thought this was supposed to be based off of a cement truck or just be a cement truck. It definitely looks more like a stunt type of vehicle where I think maybe cars are supposed to shoot out of it. I doubt it'll do that in the game, but that's what it looks like to me. Then we have buns of steel. And I think this truck is hilarious. You've got the hamburger in the back. You got the fries at the top. I think this vehicle is hilarious, and I'm definitely glad it's in the game. It shows that there's a balance of cool, wacky, serious, and just fun. Then we have Fast Gassin', which looks like a oil trucker, but it says 100 octane on the back, so I'm assuming it's supposed to just be a truck built for speed. Then we have the Motosaurus, a vehicle based off of a Stegosaurus. This vehicle's not for me, but I love that they have wacky stuff like this. Then we've got the Roger Dodger, which is based off of a Dodge Charger. Then we have Twin Mill, which just looks like a sick sports car. Then we have Rip Rod, which looks like an old school type of hot rod. But then we have Bone Shaker, which looks like an old school type of hot rod, except one that means business. You've got the skull in the front, the flames on the side, and I think it's called Bone Shaker because I think it's a vehicle with one of those engines where when it's revving, you can feel it's revving. Then we have Night Shifter, which seems more of like a cool vehicle where you don't want something too crazy, but you still want something that looks cool. Then we have the Dragon Blaster, which is just a dragon car. And as cool as it is to have a dragon car, there's one more car we gotta talk about. And it's a car that feels like it was made for me. And those who have followed the channel probably already know what this vehicle is gonna be based on. And boy am I pumped. That vehicle is the Shark Cruiser. I can't believe this thing exists. I am so pumped it's in the game. I can't believe it's in the game. I can't believe it's a Hot Wheel. The only bad thing about seeing this now is I don't know if there's any other vehicle I'll even want to use. But I am definitely pumped this is in the game, and from the vehicles we know of, I'm definitely using it. So with the cars, you can actually customize them. There's what's called a livery editor, which I think car people will more so know what that is. But in their own words, they said that it's an extremely powerful livery editor. And from what I've seen, you've been able to change the color schemes of these vehicles. And what's so crazy is you can actually upload your creations online and download others. That's something I did not think they'd include in this game. There's stuff like that in Forza, but for a Hot Wheels game, I was not expecting that. Now let's talk about the tracks. So there's apparently more than 40 tracks in the game, and 6 different environments that the tracks can be in. And I think the home base is considered one of those environments, but I'm not too sure, and we'll get into the home base later. The tracks can also vary from being circuit tracks, where you have to do 3 laps or however many laps, and then there's checkpoint ones, where it's just you go from start to finish. 2 of the environments that they've shown off are the garage and the skyscraper. The garage is supposed to be like an old car shop that's been, I believe, abandoned, and I've seen clips of them driving through air ducts or vents. They're driving on the ground, on the cement, and they're driving through the track. With the skyscraper, it's supposed to be like a building that's being constructed and it's not finished yet. And I think this scenery looks really, really cool. But one thing about these tracks that's really interesting is that there may be no items, but some of the things in the tracks are interactive. There's one part where they show a dragon breathing fire, and I don't know if that can do anything, but there's one part where there's a spider, and the spider will actually shoot webs, and you can get webbed, which causes you to be stuck in place for a little bit. So I think it's good to see that there's stuff like that in the game, because I know I said my piece about no items, but I think it could possibly get boring if there was no obstacles. So I think having stuff like this kind of balances that out. And then you can make your own tracks. And this is where I think things can get crazy, because they also said that it's the same editor that they use to make tracks. So with the game already having 40 tracks in it, and you can make your own, there's going to be a lot of tracks to drive on. The only thing about making your own tracks, though, that I'm not too sure about, and it's something that goes both ways because there's pros and cons to it, but you unlock different things to use for the track customization as you play the game, and that's where it reminds you of Mario Maker on the Wii U, because it can be seen as a pro, where you're limited on what you can make, so you end up making something different, and then as you get more things, you can make something else, or make the original thing more robust. But I think for some people, they'd rather just have all the tools at their disposal, which I remember with Mario Maker, I think a lot of people just ended up doing some trick that allowed people to get the pieces as fast as they could. But again, it's something that can be seen as a pro and a con, because another pro is that it is fun to unlock stuff usually, so it could go either way, but it is just something to note. And speaking of unlockables, this is why I wanted to wait to talk about the home base, is because Apparently the home base is supposed to be like your own room, I think, because with the other environments, you can't customize the environment itself. But with the home base, you're apparently able to add different things to the environment on top of making your own track. So we'll have to wait and see what the home base has to offer, but it sounds pretty cool. So finally, let's get to the different versions of the game that you can buy. So there's the Standard Edition, the Collector's Edition, and the Ultimate Stunt Edition. So I do plan on getting this on the Switch. Since my channel is based around Nintendo, it just makes more sense for me to get it on the Switch. But you can't pre-order it on the Switch right now, so right now I'm looking at the PlayStation Store to get these details. So they could change on other consoles, so just make sure you look before you pre-order it. But the Standard Edition comes with the game and a sports car pack, which has Track Manga, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, and GT Scorcher. And surprisingly, the Standard Edition is $49.99. It's not a $60 title. And then we have the Collector's Edition, which is $69.99, and it comes with the game, the sports car pack that comes with the Standard Edition, the Beefed Up pack, and Past Volume 1. The Beefed Up pack includes the HW Armored Truck and Baja Bone Shaker. Now, for Past Volume 1, I don't really have any details on that, but I'm pretty sure it comes with more tracks and more vehicles, but we'll have to just wait and see. And then we have the Ultimate Stunt Edition, which is $89.99, and it comes with the game, the Sports Cars pack, and the Beefed Up pack from the other editions, along with Past Volume 1, but it also comes with Street Beasts and Past Volume 2. So again, like Past Volume 1, not sure what Past Volume 2 would have, but I think it is just tracks and cars. But the Street Beasts pack comes with Tomb Up and then Shark Bite. I can't believe there's another shark vehicle for this game. So I definitely want that. And to build up hype, I will be buying the $89.99 version because I got to put my money where my mouth is. If I'm trying to hype up the game, I got to prove that I'm willing to dive into the game. Now, I'm not saying that everyone needs to get that version or even get the game at all. If you feel like the game's not for you, definitely don't get it. Now, I would like to be able to show you guys that I already pre-ordered it. But like I said, I want to get it on the Switch, and the pre-orders aren't available yet, and I will be getting it digitally. So even if I could pre-order it on like Amazon or something for the Switch version, I'm not going to be doing that because I want to get it digitally off the eShop. But I'm excited for this game, and it's not one that I was expecting to be excited for. But I think this game offers something that Mario Kart doesn't. And it's not to say that I think this game is better than Mario Kart. It's just that I think it'd be cool to have something else to play that's an arcade racer that's not Mario Kart. And I feel like those who want something that feels a little bit more competitive, that like F-Zero, I feel like this game could be for them. So that's all I really have to say about this. Hopefully some of you guys are going to have a little bit more interest in this game. And hopefully the game ends up being good, because I could end up making a video saying, all right, well, we got more footage. The game looks like garbage. We got reviews out. They're all saying it's bad. So things could happen. But so far, it looks great, and I'm excited for it. So that's all I really have to say about this. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think about all this. Do you think you're going to look at the game more? Do you think maybe you're just going to buy it? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and want to support my content, feel free to subscribe. And until next time, I'll see y'all later. Take care, everyone.